serious question for parents or anyone who's thinking about becoming a parent, and this also might be the most important video you see today. Do you remember Jamie Bulger? Because I'm beginning to feel as if he's a Mandela effect. If you do any of these things, please feel free to let me know in the comments why you do it and what's going through your head at the time. But on a daily basis, I see children being left unattended in shops. They're told to go and play with the toys, go and read the books, or they're just left to their own devices. And I know it may seem hard to believe, but I've also seen children being left in shops while their parents go to another building to have a coffee. Sometimes it's unintentional, but 80% of the time it is deliberate, and I don't understand it. I've seen kids running around supermarkets opening food. I've seen a toddler climbing up the stairs and standing at the top of the stairs trying to balance. And who do you think would get the blame if something happened to that child? It would be the staff. But when I witness these things day after day, I don't only think, okay, they've ripped open that packaging, they've damaged the product, they've ripped the books, they've wrote all over it, they could fall down the stairs and bang their head. The first thing that comes to my mind is, do they parents remember Jamie Bulger? Because I don't think they do. I was only 10 years old in 1993 when Jamie Bulger was taken from a shop while he was out with his mum, and he only wandered away for 1 minute. Meanwhile, people are telling their kids to go and play, deliberately telling them to go and play on their own without adult supervision. Sometimes I'll see slightly older kids, maybe 7 to 12 years old, walking around holding the hand of a toddler, watching them while the parents are away shopping, as if you can't just snatch up a 10 or 12-year-old. Like, what do people think is actually going on in the world? So you might be thinking, oh, I've told the Waynes to go and play with the toys and read the books, there's loads of kids over there, there's cameras, everything's going to be fine. Well, newsflash, the people who did these atrocious, sickening, unspeakable things to that 2-year-old boy were 2 10-year-old boys. You might be thinking, well, what's the chances of that happening again? But over the past 3 years, I've seen a massive incline in violent behaviour from teenagers. They run into shops, they just grab stock and run out. They verbally and physically abuse staff. If you ask people who work in big shops, they'll tell you this has been happening and it's getting worse, literally by the week. And that's the least of your worries. At least once a week, I have a child approach me and say, can you help me find my mum, dad, whatever? And I think to myself, oh my God, just as well they've asked me to help them, because it would have just took them to ask the wrong person and they would be gone. They would be snatched from existence and the parents would never see them again. Now this happens to me all the time. Maybe I've just got one of the faces that kids feel that they can trust, or maybe kids are being left right, left and centre, and I think that's the problem. A lot of people teach kids that if they get lost they should approach a woman and ask them, but newsflash, women can be pedos too. And also, so can kids. I'm not one of these people who's big on Memorial Days and say never forget 10, 20, 50 years later, but in this case, this should not be remembered annually, it should be remembered daily. There should literally be posters of Jamie up in shops saying, do you remember me, or do you miss me? My mum does, with a QR code that you can scan, and it tells you in graphic detail what happened to him, and it shows you on camera him being taken away by 2 10-year-old boys and what they done to him. And maybe then, and maybe only then, people will wake up and actually start being parents and stop leaving their kids unattended in shops on the main street telling them to go and play while they go and just shop and they want peace and expect shop staff to babysit for free. It's absolutely diabolical. And that's not even mentioning the fact that they're left to roam around shops that sell knives or glass items that kids are left to just freely touch, drop and probably cut themselves. Rant over.